Thanks for joining us on episode 1531 of the Inspired Stewardship Podcast.
I'm Rob Rene. I challenge you to invest in yourself, invest in others, develop your influence, impact the world by using your time, your talent, and your treasures to live out your calling. Having the ability to improve your relationship with God, to improve your health is key. And one way to be inspired to do that is to listen to this, the Inspired Stewardship Podcast with my friend Scott Mader. Most of us are not good stewards of what he's given us. And I'm throwing myself under that same bus in the respect that a lot of my life, I didn't take care of this temple. We only have one, right? You got to take care of it. To me, it literally comes back to the thing that he gave us this amazing gift.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on the Inspired Stewardship Podcast. If you truly desire to become the person who God wants you to be, then you must learn to use your time, your talent, and your treasures for your true calling. In the Inspired Stewardship Podcast, you will learn to invest in yourself, invest in others, and develop your influence so that you can impact the world.
In this podcast episode, I interview Rob Rene. I asked Rob about his journey of recovery. Rob also shares what he's doing on his own podcast to help others. And Rob shares how his healing journey includes his faith. I have a great book that's been out for a while now called Inspired Living. Assemble the puzzle of your calling by mastering your time, your talent, and your treasures. You can find out more about that book over at inspiredlivingbook.com. It'll take you to a page where there's information and you can sign up to get some mailings about it as well as purchase a copy there. I'd love to see you get a copy and share with me how it impacted your world. Rob Rene is a former high-level athlete and near-death survivor whose life was transformed after a near-fatal accident. With a deep passion for natural health, Rob has become an inspiring keynote speaker, an herbalist, and a molecular hydrogen researcher, sharing his unique insights on living a pain-free and vibrant life. Rob is also the host of the I Am Pain-Free podcast, where he explores natural and faithful living, bringing to light topics like the censorship of natural health, the power of frequency medicine, and the ancient healing wisdom found in the Bible. Through his company, Exodus Strong, Rob is on a mission to help people break free from drugs and embrace natural solutions. With the launch of his supplement, Exodus, Rob combines years of biblical healing herbs with the scientifically backed benefits of molecular hydrogen, offering a path to better energy, stress relief, and overall health. His goal is to help 1 million people read the Bible every day and to guide individuals towards a healthier, more vibrant life. With Rob, it's all about exiting the old you and stepping into a new life filled with energy, wellness, and faith. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Hi, Scott. I'm so excited to be here. I appreciate you inviting me.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have you as well. I talked a little bit in the intro about your podcast and some of the work you've been doing around faith and healing and health. But I always think of intros as showing just pieces of our journey. With that in mind, would you share a little bit more about your journey and what's brought you to the point where you're at today?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. And it's a loaded question because I could spend a long time on that. But what I'll do is give you the Cliff Notes version to not bore everybody. But I grew up as an athlete. I loved all sorts of sports, but running was just a thing that I really became really good at. I don't know, just God gave me the talent, or I was just lucky enough to have a brother who taught me a lot of the things to do correctly. But I also, one of the important pieces to my story is, as I was a young runner, I was a distance runner. So eating well, I read a book about how nutrition, what you eat actually feeds your body. And that became a really transformational thing for me as a youth. And then now back in my what I do currently, and now I know why God taught me that skill, which is really interesting and intriguing. But anyway, my story is I wanted to be a runner for a living. I got a full ride running scholarship to a really awesome school. and really wanted to make that as a profession. And one winter day I was out on a training run, and my buddy was behind me, and it was cold and snowy and icy, and my buddy yelled my name, and he jumped into the ditch, and I turned around and saw a truck coming right at me, and the truck just slid right into me, hit me in the hip, and threw me 36 feet, landed straight on my face, unconscious on the side of the road, bleeding, and then I had a clogged throat. My blood from the accident clogged my throat, so I couldn't breathe. Unconscious, not breathing is not a good situation. So I was very blessed to have my friend be there and realize I was in duress, and it unclogged my throat. And if it wasn't for him, and I believe the Lord watching over me, I would not have survived that particular day. So ever since then, I've had this just overwhelming desire to try to figure out why I'm here, right? I know was saved for a reason, and I'm not sure what it is. But I unfortunately went down kind of the path that a lot of people do, is I went down what the world told me I should do. I should go get a full-time job at a large corporation. I should have a family and have 3 kids and have a house with a white picket fence, and all the things that the world tells you to do, I did. And that was okay. But it just wasn't fulfilling my calling. And my relationship with Christ at the point was, I called myself a Christian, but I was a weekend Christian. It was like the one I go to church on the weekend, and as soon as the door hit me in the butt, I wouldn't read the Bible. I wouldn't think about anything related to faith until I went back to the service again next Sunday. And that dramatically changed when the second truck hit me. But this truck hit everybody. It was the pandemic. And the reason why I call it a truck, because it really upheavaled my life just like that first one did. When the first one, I was on a trajectory, everything was going great, and boom, God said, okay, that's not going to be you anymore. You're not going to be a professional runner. I'm going to train you to do something else. And so I went into the corporate world, and I got really good at communications and talking to large groups of people and talking to important people and to do my job. And then boom, the pandemic hit, and my world was upheavaled again, and I lost my sales job because I couldn't travel. But really, it was a huge blessing now that I look back on it, because that's when I started doing research for myself. I was so busy with what the world was telling me to do that I didn't have time I'd get up in the morning, I'd maybe work out if I had time, I'd go to work, and they'd come back home from work late, and because I'd had to entertain clients, and I'd see my wife for an hour, and we'd have dinner, and then we'd do something else. I'd play maybe video games, just stupid things that would just keep me busy, and I never had time to do research for myself. So when the pandemic hit, it gave me that gift, the gift of research. And what I did do is I uncovered something really dramatic in my feeling, is that I wanted to protect my family right from COVID and for this pandemic. I'm like, how am I going to help? And I went back to those original days of me running. I was like, okay, I know nutrition is how your body is fueled. And so I know that's really important. So let's go back to the basics. And then I saw this one doctor recommending vitamin D. And I'm like, okay, vitamin D is like the most natural substance you can actually get, right, from the sun. I'm like, okay, why are they vilifying this guy? And they were really crucifying him. And I couldn't understand why. So I did research on why they were crucifying him. This guy must be a really bad guy. But I dug into it, and he wasn't a bad guy. He was just a really good health practitioner trying to help people. And then I'm like, okay, so I know vitamin D itself is not bad. I know that now I'm understanding this doctor isn't bad. So then why are they crucifying? There's got to be a reason. And the more I uncovered, just wow, I really came to the conclusion that our medical system was really taken over in the early 1900s with Rockefeller medicine. And I got a lot of documentation. There's lots of it out there for people to go do and research. But in summary, that's when I really woke up to a problem in our world and society, that our information is controlled. Our health system is all about a pill for an ill rather than helping people at the core. So I've had a blast the last 5 years just figuring out ways that I can help people and ways that are natural and faithful. And that my relationship with Christ has grown significantly through that this period where I read the Bible every day that I can. And I have an amazing organization that's called Mighty Men of my church here in Texas. That is 300 men that get together every Saturday, and they're on fire for Christ. I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like that in my life. But it's really invigorating that people are out there really wanting to make a difference. So that's my journey, is to going from a young athlete to not really knowing what I wanted to do after my first accident. And then the second truck is like doing research and understanding how messed up our health system is, and that we need to get back to the basics. And God gave us an incredible body, right? He gave us this amazing body that actually heals itself if we give it the right information, or if we give it the right nutrients. And so I'm having a blast now trying to teach people that and give them the tools that they need to be well in this environment.
So when you think about some of what you've learned through reading the Bible and studying in your faith, what have you seen as some of the biggest overlaps or biggest teachings that you've picked up that also integrate into the wellness and nutrition practices that you share?
Yeah, I love it. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is Exodus 15:26. It's like, "For I am the Lord, your healer." And I really took that into account because I started researching the Bible and about how is he healing. So I went through a lot of healing practices and how he healed people supernaturally, but then also he didn't heal certain people, right? And there was usually a reason why, or not usually, I'm just saying there's always a reason why, right? There's a reason. Lord has a plan for each and every one of us. If we have breath in our lungs today, we're here for a reason. He's still not done with us. So I started digging into the Bible about healing, and then I started digging into it with nutrition, because when I was reading back early in Genesis, right? And one of the things that's really fun in Genesis is it talks about the herbs and seeds that he's given us are for us, for our provision. And I started doing the Hebrew analysis of those words, and it's really exciting, right? He's given us a divine blueprint to help us, and he's given us the herbs and superfoods on the earth for us to survive and thrive. And so that got me digging into all the different types of herbs in the Bible that could help people. And I was on this mission. I'm like, okay, there's got to be something in here that maybe no one's ever found, or maybe there's a combination I could find that is really unique, that could really help people. And I'm just so blessed with what I've been able to put together now, because I've got this supplement that's called Exodus that is incredible. It's got 7 of the right biblical herbs and superfoods. But the amazing part of the story is I was wanting to find that really unique thing, right? And I couldn't find something that wasn't already out in the market. But I connected with this practitioner who was working on hydrogen. And hydrogen, I started researching, what does the Bible have to do with hydrogen? And the hydrogen is the base element in our periodic table. It's the smallest element that God made. And so there's not a lot that the Bible specifically says about it, but he created everything. We know he created hydrogen. And then we started looking at hydrogen and the health benefits and all the new science around molecular hydrogen. And it's just awesome. And so we were able to take the herbs and the 7 best complementary herbs and superfoods that I was working on and marry it with that molecular hydrogen component. And the combination is just a solution that's helping people in a really dramatic way. And I'm having fun just helping people, one, do this, what I call a fatigue to vitality system that literally helps them go from being fatigued and or not having energy to having vitality. And it's some of the steps, or most of the steps, are free and easy that anybody can do. So just start using this system to help you, even if you don't want to use our supplement. Just can help speed up the process. But we can talk through some of those steps if you're interested. But that's really my connection to the Word, as I really dug in, and now I believe I have a direct relationship where I'm praying, and I believe that He will communicate with me, which I never thought that was possible when I was an early Christian.
And what are some of those steps that you're talking about that folks could do regardless of where they find themselves?
Yeah, that's what's so fun is I like to talk about 4 or 5 things that are super easy that everybody can do. And the first one is water, right? Most people do not hydrate enough. So I'm about 200 pounds. And so I need about 100 ounces of water. So get at least a half an ounce of water for every pound of body weight that you have. And you need to make sure you get at least that much water every single day. And you'll be really surprised if you track it, how little water you literally drink. Most people are dehydrated. So our body needs that. We're made up of 60 to 70% water as a human being. And so that's the first thing, right? Let's make sure people get hydrated because dehydration causes lots of problems and issues. And it's relatively free, right? You need to try to get clean water. So get it filtered because there's lots of nasty stuff in our tap water. But if you do get clean water, get at least 100 ounces for me, right? And whatever it is for you based upon that ratio. That's the first one is water is really important. Then the second one I like to talk about is back to that thing I learned early was the vitamin D, right? You need sun, right? And the sun has been vilified incorrectly, in my opinion, that the first 45 minutes of sun is called first light, and that's 45 minutes is beautiful and pure, and it has no UV rays the first 45 minutes. If you can get out there in the morning and you can get that direct sunlight on your face, and it really changes your whole rhythm in your body. So hydrate, get that vitamin D, and then guess what? Since you're outside getting that vitamin D, you need to take your socks and shoes off and get your feet on the ground. I was very surprised about this. My wife, I have really sensitive feet. And so my wife loves to joke with me because she would tell me about grounding and I would laugh at her. I'm like, I don't need to put my feet on the dirt. But as I'm doing all this research on health and natural health, and I've got a podcast called I Am Pain Free, and I interview holistic practitioners a lot. And it's really fascinating with the tips and tricks that they've told me. So I'm just giving you the results of all the practices and stuff that I've learned. And so that third one is grounding. Is free, right? I can sell you a $5,000 mat if you want to put it under your desk and you can put your feet on it and you're going to ground. But you can go outside and take your socks and shoes off and get your feet on the God's given earth, and it's going to do the exact same thing. So do it for free. Go outside, get your feet on the ground, and that is going to help you in a really dramatic way. So your body's going to be hydrated. You're going to have sun. You're going to get that vitamin D and the nutrients your body needs. And then you get that grounding. The other thing I like to do with water that I didn't mention is I like to use Celtic salt. Just a pinch of Celtic salt in the morning with your water helps with a lot of nutrients. Celtic salt, not iodized salt, not table salt, but if you get Celtic salt, it has 40 nutrients that you get, and your body needs about 90 every day. And we're just, as a society, we're not getting the right nutrients. Our foods are really in trouble. 70% of our foods are ultra processed foods now, so the nutrients aren't there. So there's 3.5 of my 5 things. Any questions you have with those, Scott?
You also mentioned earlier too that, about your prayer life and how you've connected more. How does the prayer life and the relationship that you have fit into your book, your feelings around health and wellness?
So that's an awesome question. Thank you for asking that, because literally with this fatigue to vitality system, prayer is a very key component of it. Like literally we have a prayer guide that goes with every single product. So it's a Monday through Sunday prayer guide. And it's really important that you engage your body, right? And so you use your eyes to read it. You're using your mouth to declare it. There's power in the tongue. The Bible is very clear about declaring positive things over your body and how much of a real effect that does have on your body. So we really take that to heart, right? So we want you to read the prayer. We want you to read it out loud. And then we want you to hear yourself say it. And then you use our supplement that goes inside the body. So not only inside your body, which helps the body, but you're using your mind because you're thinking about these and you're declaring them out loud to the Lord, and then you're praying, right? So it's literally a combination of the mind, body, spirit by using this prayer guide. And then what we are real excited, our mission is to get 1 million new people to read the word through their health. So people are going to love our products because it really helps them with their health in a really dramatic way. But then we're also going to be introducing them to the Bible through our reading plan or through our prayer guide. But then we have these Bible study guides that go into depth. So it might be neat for someone that's not read the Bible much to say, oh, hey, Exodus 23:25-26. It says, you shall serve and worship the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and your water. I will take sickness away from you. None shall miscarry or be barren in your land. I will fulfill the number of your days. So the neat thing about that is it might get somebody going, wow, I didn't know that was in the Bible. That's interesting. So then we take them through a study guide related to that, and it gives them the context to what where that actual verse was within the Bible and what was going on at the time, and to give you a lot of analysis on surrounding topics related to it. So it gets you excited about what's in the Word, because most people, at least me, right? Most people that were like myself who are Sunday Christians don't read the Bible as often as they should, and don't really realize how amazing it is and how much fun stuff there is there. So that's what we're really excited about, is we're going to help people with health, but we're going to incorporate the Word into that program because it's so engaging and enlightening. That's my prayer to the Lord, is that people, when they're actually praying, that the Lord heals them, right? Not my product, not anything else, that they may have an infirmity that the doctors are saying is terminal. We all know that the Lord can heal you. And but a lot of people may not ask, and they may not have the faith that he can heal them. So I'm going to try to help people with that.
So I've got a few questions that I like to ask all of my guests, but before I do that, is there anything else about the work you do or the study that you've been on that you'd like to share with the listener?
Yeah, it's just that I'd want to give people a hope and faith that God is good. If you use your mind, body, and spirit together, you can do amazing things. And the living Word of God is the living Word of God. So you get into it and you start reading it. You'll read that verse maybe for the 10th time, and he's going to be communicating something to you different every single time. So just get in and enjoy it and love it. And that's what I'm having fun doing. And then I think we can all make the world a better place, right? Through their health and through their faith, which is my big mission.
So my brand is Inspired Stewardship, and I run things through that lens of stewardship. And yet I've discovered over the years, that's one of those words that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So when you hear the word stewardship, what does that word mean to you?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. To me, it's being a good steward of what God has given you and he's given us this temple, and most of us are not good stewards of what he's given us. And I'm throwing myself under that same bus in the respect that a lot of my life, I didn't take care of this temple. We only have one. You got to take care of it. And so to me, it literally comes back to the thing that he gave us this amazing gift of life, and we do have breath in our lungs. And so if we're going to be a good steward of what he's given us, then we need to take care of our temples. And then guess what? He gave us the Great Commission, the Great Commission for us to actually go out and share the word and get other people to understand it. And I think that's being a good steward of what God gave us, is our physical temple, but then also using that to have a good effect on the kingdom.
So this is my favorite question that I like to ask everybody. Imagine for a moment that I could invent this magic machine. And with this machine, I was able to transport you into the future, maybe 150, maybe 250 years. And through the power of this machine, you were able to look back and see your entire life, see all of the ripples, all of the connections, all of the impacts you've left behind. What impact do you hope you've had on the world?
Man, I'm really inspired about that, because at the end of the day, when it is my last breath that I do take, and I am confronted and actually talking to the Lord, that I really want him to say, well done, good and faithful servant. And I have a lot of catching up to do. I spent a lot of my life not doing that. So that's really why I'm on a mission to help people with their health, because I know once they help them with their health, they can actually have an impact on the kingdom. And I want to have them have an impact on the kingdom, and in a way that they might not have, because I wasn't there to help them with their health. So that's my goal, is to really get people engaged in the word, get them engaged with their health, health. And then those two things combine, they get healthy, and then they start engaging with the word, they're going to want to make an impact on the kingdom. If you would have told me I was doing this 5 years ago, I'd have said, you're absolutely crazy. There's no way in the world I'm going to get on a podcast and I'm going to talk about my faith. And it's just something I was embarrassed of, something I wasn't strong in my conviction. And now I believe that that's why I'm here on this earth, is I can look back. I don't have that time machine yet, but I do look back on my life and I can see how God trained me every single step of the way, right? I was a youth. He's like, okay, you're going to learn health. You're going to learn how discipline. You're going to learn nutrition. And then boom, truck hits me. Then what? Oh, you're going to learn how to communicate with the world, right? You're going to learn how to communicate with people that you don't think you have the right to be in front of, and have an actual conversation with people that you're scared to have a conversation with. He taught me that for decades. And then boom, that was over. He's okay, now I want you to go back to your health, and I want you to go back and I want to develop a relationship with you. And so that's where I developed this amazing relationship with him and his word. And now I'm digging into this whole health industry and health solutions. I'm like, man, the world is in really a lot of trouble from that perspective. Our healthcare in America is just atrocious, and our health system, there's just people are obese, people are fatigued like crazy, people hurt. And the more research I do on those things, it's, wow, I really can help people in a dramatic way if they just do these simple things. So do these simple things and you're going to start feeling better. And then you're going to trust me, and you're going to use the products that I'm helping bring together. And I'm building these organizations, not for me personally, but I'm building it to have a big impact on the kingdom, right? So I want to build this business to be a big business, not to be a big business. I want to be a big business so I have the funds to be a good steward of what God gave me, so I can go help the world and I can give back to the right people, and we can really have a collective impact on this amazing world that we live in.
So what's on the roadmap? What's coming next as you continue on your journey?
Yeah, I'm super excited about Exodus Strong. That's the name of the company that we have. And we're really combining all these health solutions to get people from where they are in their health to where they want to be. That's why this new fatigue to vitality system that we have is really helping people. We did research, and there's so many people that have a lack of energy. You can see that by the breakthrough in energy drink sales, and the not breakthrough, but in the last 10 years or so, how much coffee is being consumed, right? People are tired. People are exhausted. And so we've got a solution to that. We've got this fatigue to vitality system that if you just follow it, it's something that you're going to transform your life in a really dramatic way. And then pain is another area where there's a lot of people that are in pain. So can we help people with inflammation? Because if you help people with inflammation, sometimes that helps them with their pain. And then there's a lot of people that are lonely. I just interviewed a doctor yesterday, and he said two of the biggest problems that he sees are people that are lonely and that they don't have hope. And man, I want to give them both of that. I want to give them a community. So part of our fatigue to vitality system is a community you become part of, right? You can become one of us, and we're going to help you through your journey. And then guess what? You have a group of people that are like you, that can help you and want to support you and hold you accountable and get you to that next step. And it's not fearful, it's fun, because people are part of it. And then you're not lonely anymore, and you have that support, and you have a community that loves you and supports you and wants better for you. So that's where we're headed, is just to build this amazing community of people who are God-fearing people who want to help people with their health. And so a big part of what we're doing too is a fundraising mechanism for people of Christian influence and or pastors and or ministries. We have a really amazing fundraising mechanism so they can use the power of what we're putting together to help people in a real tangible way, but then also helps them raise funds for their ministry. So it's really an amazing win. The end consumer wins by having a great product and system to get them well. And then we win by growing a bigger organization. And then the ministry wins by raising funds for their ministry. So it really does help all of us. And like I said, we're all in this together, right? And so let's work as a collective community to bless the world.
So you can find out more about Rob over at exodusstrong.com. Of course, I'll have a link to that over in the show notes as well.
Rob, is there anything else you'd like to share with the listener?
I just want to bless everybody that is listening to my voice. I just want to pray for you, if you don't mind. Dear Lord, thank you so much for everything that you've done for me. Thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for the people that are here, and just impart to them the love that you have for them. Do have breath in their lungs today, and that means they have a plan. You have a plan for them, Lord. So let them find that plan, and let them be excited about that plan, and let them just be blessed by learning maybe one thing out of what they heard today that they can take and use and transform their health, and maybe not for themselves, but maybe for their loved one, or maybe for their children or their grandchildren. And they can be that beacon of light and beacon of change that can really make a transformation in people's lives. And thank you for your wonderful word. And I pray that everybody has a desire to go look in the Bible for these herbs and superfoods and health topics and things. It's just amazing what is there and how you will speak to us through that. So just give people that desire. These are the things I say in the wonderful name of Jesus. Amen.
Thanks so much for listening to the Inspired Stewardship podcast. As a subscriber and listener, we challenge you to not just sit back and passively listen, but act on what you've heard and find a way to live your calling. If you enjoyed this episode, please do us a favor. Go over to inspiredstewardship.com/iTunes rate, all one word, iTunes rate. It'll take you through how to leave a rating and review and how to make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so that you can get every episode as it comes out in your feed. Until next time, invest your time, your talent, and your treasures. Develop your influence and impact the world.